Hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily Dose of English. I'm Tom, your English teacher and friend. How are you doing today? I hope you're ready for another exciting lesson, because today we're going to learn something super practical. How to describe people in English. You know, every day we meet people, at the coffee shop, at work, at school, on the bus, everywhere, and sometimes we want to tell our friends about these people. Maybe you met someone interesting, or you want to describe your new teacher, or tell someone about your neighbour. Today I'll teach you exactly how to do that in natural, everyday English. By the end of this lesson, you'll know how to describe someone's appearance, their personality, their clothes, and even their habits. We'll practice with shadowing, we'll have fun conversations, and I promise you'll feel more confident describing people in English. So grab your coffee, tea, or water, whatever makes you happy, sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's lesson. All right, let's start with the basics. When we describe someone, we usually start with their general appearance. Let me teach you some simple but super useful phrases. First, let's talk about height. In English, we say, he is tall. He is tall. Now you repeat, she is short. She is short. Now you repeat, they are medium height. They are medium height. Now you repeat. Now here's a little tip for you. In everyday English, we often add pretty or quite to make it sound more natural. Listen, he's pretty tall. He's pretty tall. Now you repeat. She's quite short. She's quite short. Now you repeat. Great job. Now let's talk about body type. Remember, we always want to be polite and respectful when describing people. Here are some common ways. He has an athletic build. He has an athletic build. Now you repeat. Let's break this down. He has. Now you repeat. An athletic build. An athletic build. Now you repeat. Now the full sentence, he has an athletic build. Now you repeat. She is slim. She is slim. Now you repeat. He looks fit. He looks fit. Now you repeat. She has a curvy figure. She has a curvy figure. Now you repeat. Now let's move on to age. This can be tricky because we don't always know someone's exact age, right? So we use these phrases. He looks young. He looks young. Now you repeat. She seems to be in her 30s. She seems to be in her 30s. Now you repeat. Let me break this down. She seems to be. She seems to be. Now you repeat. In her 30s. In her 30s. Now you repeat. Full sentence. She seems to be in her 30s. Now you repeat. He's middle-aged. He's middle-aged. Now you repeat. She's elderly. She's elderly. Now you repeat. Here's a cultural note for you. In English-speaking countries, it's usually not polite to ask someone's age directly, especially women. That's why we say seems to be or looks like when guessing age. Now let's describe hair. This is fun because there are so many different hairstyles. Let's start with hair colour. She has blonde hair. She has blonde hair. Now you repeat. He has dark hair. He has dark hair. Now you repeat. She has red hair. She has red hair. Now you repeat. He has grey hair. He has grey hair. Now you repeat. Now, what about hair length and style? Listen carefully. She has long, straight hair. She has long, straight hair. Now you repeat. Let's practice this in parts. She has. Now you repeat. Long straight hair. Long straight hair. Now you repeat. Together. She has long straight hair. Now you repeat. He has short curly hair. He has short curly hair. Now you repeat. She has wavy hair. She has wavy hair. Now you repeat. He is bald. He is bald. Now you repeat. She wears her hair in a ponytail. She wears her hair in a ponytail. Now you repeat. Let's break this down. She wears her hair. She wears her hair. Now you repeat. In a ponytail. In a ponytail. Now you repeat. Full sentence. She wears her hair in a ponytail. Now you repeat. Now let's describe facial features. This is where it gets really interesting. He has brown eyes. He has brown eyes. Now you repeat. She has beautiful green eyes. She has beautiful green eyes. Now you repeat. He wears glasses. He wears glasses. Now you repeat. She has a lovely smile. She has a lovely smile. Now you repeat. He has a beard. He has a beard. Now you repeat. She has freckles. She has freckles. Now you repeat. Here's a fun fact. In English, we often use has got instead of has in informal speech. So you might hear, she's got blue eyes instead of she has blue eyes. Both are correct. All right, now let's talk about what people wear. This is super useful for everyday conversations. He's wearing a blue shirt. He's wearing a blue shirt. Now you repeat. She has on a red dress. She has on a red dress. Now you repeat. Notice something. We can say wearing or has on. They mean the same thing. Cool, right? Let's practice more clothing descriptions. He's dressed casually. He's dressed casually. Now you repeat. She looks very professional. She looks very professional. Now you repeat. He always wears a suit to work. He always wears a suit to work. Now you repeat. Let's break this down. He always wears. He always wears. Now you repeat. A suit to work. A suit to work. Now you repeat. Together. He always wears a suit to work. Now you repeat. She has great fashion sense. She has great fashion sense. Now you repeat. He dresses very stylishly. He dresses very stylishly. Now you repeat. Now here's something interesting about describing clothes in English. We often mention the colour first, then the item. For example, she's wearing black jeans. She's wearing black jeans. Now you repeat. Not jeans black. That sounds strange in English. Now comes my favourite part. Describing personality. This is where we really get to know someone. Let's start with positive traits. She's really friendly. She's really friendly. Now you repeat. He's very outgoing. He's very outgoing. Now you repeat. She seems shy. She seems shy. Now you repeat. He's quite talkative. He's quite talkative. Now you repeat. Let me teach you a super useful pattern. We often use seems when we're not 100% sure about someone's personality. She seems nice. She seems nice. Now you repeat. He seems intelligent. He seems intelligent. Now you repeat. They seem fun. They seem fun. Now you repeat. Now let's learn some more personality words. She's hardworking. She's hardworking. Now you repeat. He's easygoing. He's easygoing. Now you repeat. She's confident. She's confident. Now you repeat. He's generous. He's generous. Now you repeat. Here's a little joke for you. My friend said I'm too easygoing. I said, yeah, whatever. Get it? Because easygoing people don't worry about things. Let's also learn how to describe someone's behaviour. She always helps others. She always helps others. Now you repeat. He never complains. He never complains. Now you repeat. She laughs a lot. She laughs a lot. Now you repeat. He tells funny stories. He tells funny stories. Now you repeat. Excellent work so far. Now let's put everything together. I'll show you how to make complete descriptions using all the vocabulary we've learned. My neighbour is a tall man with grey hair. My neighbour is a tall man with grey hair. Now you repeat. Let's break this down. My neighbour is. My neighbour is. Now you repeat. A tall man. A tall man. Now you repeat. With grey hair. With grey hair. Now you repeat. Full sentence. My neighbour is a tall man with grey hair. Now you repeat. She's a young woman who always dresses professionally. She's a young woman who always dresses professionally. Now you repeat. Breaking it down. She's a young woman. She's a young woman. Now you repeat. Who always dresses professionally. Who always dresses professionally. Now you repeat. Together. She's a young woman who always dresses professionally. Now you repeat. Now let's practice with more complex descriptions. My teacher has short blonde hair and wears glasses. My teacher has short blonde hair and wears glasses. Now you repeat. The cashier at the store seems really friendly and helpful. The cashier at the store seems really friendly and helpful. Now you repeat. Let's break this one. The cashier at the store. The cashier at the store. Now you repeat. Seems really friendly. Seems really friendly. Now you repeat. And helpful. And helpful. Now you repeat. Full sentence. The cashier at the store seems really friendly and helpful. Now you repeat. Now let's have some fun with a real conversation. Imagine two friends, Sarah and Mike, talking at a coffee shop. Listen carefully and repeat the sentences during the shadowing practice. Sarah. Hey Mike. Guess who I saw yesterday? Mike. Who? Sarah. Our old teacher, Mrs. Johnson. Mike. Really? How does she look now? Sarah. She looks great. She still has that long grey hair. She still has that long grey hair. Now you repeat. Sarah. But now she wears it in a bun. But now she wears it in a bun. Now you repeat. Mike. Does she still wear those colourful dresses? Sarah. Yes. Yesterday she was wearing a bright yellow dress. Yesterday she was wearing a bright yellow dress. Now you repeat. Mike. That sounds like her. Is she still as energetic as before? Sarah. Absolutely. She seems even more energetic now. She seems even more energetic now. Now you repeat. Sarah. She was carrying shopping bags and walking really fast. She was carrying shopping bags and walking really fast. Now you repeat. Mike. I always liked her. She was so encouraging. Sarah. Me too. She always had a smile on her face. She always had a smile on her face. Now you repeat. Here's another conversation. This time Anna's telling her husband Tom about her new colleague at work. Anna. We have a new person in our department. Tom. Oh really? What's he like? Anna. Actually, it's a she. Her name is Lisa. Her name is Lisa. Now you repeat. Tom. Tell me about her. Anna. Well, she's probably in her late 20s. She's probably in her late 20s. Now you repeat. Anna. She has short black hair with purple highlights. She has short black hair with purple highlights. Now you repeat. Tom. Purple highlights? That's interesting. Anna. Yes, she has a really unique style. She has a really unique style. Now you repeat. Anna. Today she wore ripped jeans and a leather jacket. Today she wore ripped jeans and a leather jacket. Now you repeat. Tom. Sounds cool. What's her personality like? Anna. She's very outgoing and confident. She's very outgoing and confident. Now you repeat. Anna. She introduced herself to everyone on her first day. She introduced herself to everyone on her first day. Now you repeat. Tom. That's great. Not everyone is brave enough to do that. Anna. I know. She seems really friendly and funny too. She seems really friendly and funny too. Now you repeat. Anna. She made everyone laugh during lunch break. She made everyone laugh during lunch break. Now you repeat. Now it's your turn. I'll give you a situation and you can practice describing someone. Ready? Situation 1. Describe your best friend to someone who has never met them. Think about their appearance, their style, and their personality. Use phrases like, my best friend is. My best friend is. Now you repeat. He, she has. He, she has. Now you repeat. He, she usually wears. He, she usually wears. Now you repeat. He, she is really. He, she is really. Now you repeat. Situation 2. You saw someone interesting on the bus. Describe them to your friend. I saw this interesting person on the bus. I saw this interesting person on the bus. Now you repeat. They were wearing. They were wearing. Now you repeat. They had. They had. Now you repeat. They seemed. They seemed. Now you repeat. Let's level up. Now I'll teach you how to make your descriptions even more interesting and natural. We'll use connecting words and add more details. She's not only beautiful, but also very intelligent. She's not only beautiful, but also very intelligent. Now you repeat. Let's break this advanced structure. She's not only beautiful, she's not only beautiful. Now you repeat. But also very intelligent, but also very intelligent. Now you repeat. Together, she's not only beautiful, but also very intelligent. Now you repeat. Although he looks serious, he's actually really funny. Although he looks serious, he's actually really funny. Now you repeat. Breaking it down. Although he looks serious. Although he looks serious. Now you repeat. He's actually really funny. He's actually really funny. Now you repeat. Full sentence. Although he looks serious, he's actually really funny. Now you repeat. She has this amazing smile that lights up the whole room. She has this amazing smile that lights up the whole room. Now you repeat. He's the kind of person who always helps others. He's the kind of person who always helps others. Now you repeat. Before we finish, let me share some important cultural tips about describing people in English-speaking countries. Be respectful and positive. When describing someone's appearance, focus on positive or neutral aspects. Avoid mentioning weight directly. Instead of saying someone is fat or skinny, use terms like has a larger build or slim. When you're not sure, use seems or appears to be. This shows you're making an observation, not a judgment. Compliments are welcome. English speakers often compliment each other's appearance or style. Phrases like, I love your hair, or that's a great jacket, are common and friendly. Let me tell you a funny story about describing people. This happened to my friend Jake. Jake was meeting his girlfriend's parents for the first time. His girlfriend told him, "My dad is tall with grey hair. My dad is tall with grey hair." Now you repeat. He usually wears glasses and a blue shirt. He usually wears glasses and a blue shirt. Now you repeat. So Jake goes to the restaurant and sees a tall man with grey hair, glasses, and a blue shirt. He walks up and says, "Hello. You must be Sarah's father." Hello. You must be Sarah's father. Now you repeat. The man looked confused and said, "I don't know any Sarah. I don't know any Sarah." Now you repeat. Jake had approached the wrong person. The real father was at a different table. Turns out there were two tall men with grey hair, glasses and blue shirts in the restaurant that day. The lesson: sometimes we need more specific descriptions. Let's talk about some common mistakes learners make when describing people and how to fix them. Mistake 1. He has tall. Correct. He is tall. He is tall. Now you repeat. Mistake 2. She is having brown eyes. Correct. She has brown eyes. She has brown eyes. Now you repeat. Mistake 3. He wears glass. Correct. He wears glasses. He wears glasses. Now you repeat. Remember, for permanent features like eye colour or height, we use has or is. For things that can change like clothes, we use wears or is wearing. Let's do one final practice with a complete description. I'll describe someone, and you shadow each sentence. Let me tell you about my friend Maria. Let me tell you about my friend Maria. Now you repeat. She's a woman in her early 30s. She's a woman in her early 30s. Now you repeat. She has medium-length curly brown hair. She has medium-length curly brown hair. Now you repeat. Her eyes are dark brown and she has a warm smile. Her eyes are dark brown and she has a warm smile. Now you repeat. She's about average height and has an athletic build. She's about average height and has an athletic build. Now you repeat. Maria loves to dress casually but stylishly. Maria loves to dress casually but stylishly. Now you repeat. Today she's wearing dark jeans and a green sweater. Today she's wearing dark jeans and a green sweater. Now you repeat. She's one of the most creative people I know. She's one of the most creative people I know. Now you repeat. She's always coming up with new ideas. She's always coming up with new ideas. Now you repeat. She's also incredibly kind and patient. She's also incredibly kind and patient. Now you repeat, everyone loves being around her. Everyone loves being around her. Now you repeat, wow, you've done an amazing job today. Let's quickly review what we've learned. We learned how to describe physical appearance, height, build, age. We practiced describing hair and facial features. We talked about clothing and personal style. We explored personality traits and behaviours. We put it all together in natural conversations. We practiced with shadowing to improve your speaking. Remember, the key to describing people naturally is to start with general appearance, add specific details, include personality traits, use seems when you're not sure. Be respectful and positive. You now have all the tools you need to describe anyone you meet in English. Whether it's your teacher, your neighbour, a new friend, or even someone you saw on the street, you can paint a picture with words. Here's your homework. Today or tomorrow, try to describe 3 people you see. It could be people you know or strangers you notice. Practice using the phrases we learned. Say them out loud, even if you're alone. Remember, speaking practice is the key to fluency. Thank you so much for learning with me today. You're doing an incredible job with your English, and I'm proud of your progress. Every lesson, every practice session, every word you speak brings you closer to your goal. Don't forget to subscribe to Daily Dose of English and hit that notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Share this video with your friends who are learning English too. Let's help each other grow. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. You're on your way to becoming an excellent English speaker. This is Tom from Daily Dose of English saying goodbye for now. I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, keep smiling and keep learning. Bye-bye.